hey, it's happening. It only took 5 times, but you know what? 5th time's a charm. Do I need light? Do we need light? Light. No light. Aw, there's my husband. I don't need no light. I am the light. I don't need the light. Michael Duff is watching. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Duff is in the house. That just doesn't go with my outfit. So, we have amongst us, coming up, the fantastic Kelley Pomerantz. And hey, hi, Julie. Yes, you're so good and patient with all of this. You know what this technology takes. My gosh, look at that. That behind me looks like a giant coffee maker. That's what people think it is. But no, it's a skincare filler upper. I kind of like looking at it. I suppose I could put a white background behind me, but we get to see a bit of working space. All right, Miss Kelley. So Kelley's an author. She did she got to sign her book in Paris at a fashion show. That just seems like something that would be on like every woman's to-do list. Be able to write a book. Kevin. Oh, Kevin. Kevin, I need to have you on one of my Radiant Women, right? Come on, Julie, what do you think about that? Look at you guys, I'm flanked by my brother and my sister. They really are. Julie and Kevin. You guys are what it's like. See, I don't have any siblings, so y'all are what it's like to have a brother and sister. So all I can say to anybody out there that has a brother and sister, I'm jealous. And because I've only, in the latter half of my life, gotten these 2 people as siblings, and I'm hooked. All right, Kelley, let's see. Let's make this happen. Approve. And I think some magic is happening. There it is.
I had my lighting all set up for doing this on my laptop, so I'm having to make a small modification. Excuse me. Okay, here we are.
No, it's super good. Oh, I love your wood ceiling.
Oh, thank you.
Now, you're in LA right now, correct?
That's right.
Oh,
that's right. Gosh. I would be in Paris right now, but they don't let us go right now.
It's still closed, yeah?
Yeah. And even if we were there, they've got curfew on the streets at 6 p.m. And, who wants to do that in Paris?
It's really true. It is kind of a waste of that city. I mean, if you've got to live there, that's fine because you're living there. But if you're a visitor.
No, you just look out on the streets and cry,
Oh. Yeah. So now tell me, you weren't born there, like, right? You don't have family from there, but it became this passion of yours, right?
I am completely French on the inside.
You're French soul.
Yeah, very much so. I just, it was someplace that I wanted to go, and then, that feeling when you go to a new place and it's just like, I'm home.
Yeah.
And that
new place.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what it was for me. It was like the instant I stepped out of the train station, I was just like, okay, I'm here. This is my home.
And when was that?
The first trip was, when Jeff and I got together in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And right after we got together, I mean, literally the first night we were together, it went well. And he said to me, I have to go to Paris on business in a couple of weeks. Would you like to come? So that was an easy question to answer. And that was my first trip. But I would watch Tour de France and just cry. And it's not because I'm into bicycles,
Right.
it's just
It
where
was
my
the
heart.
France part of the Tour de
The
France.
France, that's right. The
Now,
Tour de
you know what? I want to just mention something here because it's just something, this piece of admiration that I have for you, just as one who lives life. And you know, I was, you know, as you know, your husband was very close with our family, and he unfortunately lost a battle to cancer, and you guys were the bestest, closest. And how long were you married?
28 years.
28 years. And
Yeah.
that's a lot of, that's, you know, and I have to say, like, you did, you did what he would want, which is to keep going. And you found yet another new love so quickly. And I think, and it's later in life, like, it's not like, you know, you weren't 29, you know, and you just didn't, you mourned, and then you got back to living. And I just admired that so much, you know.
Oh,
It's I think just more people need to know that, you know, that, like, having, like, just what losses, and you just boom.
yeah, it was kind of an interesting thing, and you don't. There's some things you can't know the fullness of or the depth of unless you've experienced it yourself, and you can think how you might react in that situation.
Yes,
You don't freaking know. You
you
really
don't.
live it. You don't know. So, as you know, my husband and I were just like, we did everything together. We were just Mutt and Jeff, you know, all the time, peas and carrots. And so then, you know, when I lost him, it, as you know, because you and a lot of other girlfriends babysat me and took me shopping and invited me over, and we ate a lot of pizza together, and we got through it. But for me, the way I kind of could wrap my wits around it is, okay, so if you believe that you've lived before and you'll live again, as I do, then I was looking at, okay, well, at some point you have a reboot where the past is gone and now you create a new future. So I have to have a reboot without getting born again, is the simplicity of it. So
Yeah.
that's how I dealt with it, is I just rebooted. I just
Yeah.
stuck myself on the charger and
Yeah. You know, and it was not, it didn't nullify the
not
28 lovely years. It didn't discount the awful sadness, you know,
not
like,
and in fact my current husband Jeff, he got the horns honking. My current husband knew JJ, my former husband, very well, and you know, thought the world of him, and literally for the first 6 months we were together, he would hold me every night, and I would cry about JJ, and he totally understood, and there was just it couldn't have been more perfect,
oh,
really. Yeah.
yeah, right. Like, that's, you know, they're, yeah, just having even just lost my mom, it's like, you know, it's like the closest person that
Oh,
I've lost. And so you don't really know, until you've experienced it, you
yeah.
know. And I just find I got a whole new level of respect for you, you know.
Thank you. Thank you. But I think that, and you know, you can probably agree with this, but I think it makes you more tolerant of other people because you don't know what they're going through.
Yeah.
Oh, and people are doing the best they can with what they've got.
Yep, yep. And
Yeah.
I just felt I wanted to share that because it's, you know, not everyone could do that. Not everyone maybe is lucky to find the prince that was
Mhm.
bestowed into your life, but you made yourself available for that greatness, you
Yeah.
know, and that is, you know, so 100% part of it. And anyway, I just wanted to
Thank you so much. Well,
yeah.
I talk a lot.
You know. And so then you go traveling, and then you get this new game in life, and I see you in Paris, and I'm like, what the hell's Kelley sitting at a cafe again? She's sitting at a cafe with a freaking cappuccino and
That's
writing.
right.
Like,
That's right.
everyone wants that life, right? And but I love that, like, you didn't just go and do it for you. You took what was lovely about it, and you created something to share and help and inspire others, which really, to me, that's, you can do things in life for personal gain, or you can do things in life out of duty. And
Yeah.
and I feel that you did. I mean, even my road trips that I do, we could go and never document it and never talk about it, and it could be super fun for us, but why not share that for others to inspire, whether they even road trip or not, but inspire a little adventure,
Yeah. Yeah.
documenting stuff in a fun way, or just looking at the pictures of it,
Yeah. Absolutely. I feel like I've gone along with all the pictures and the creative outfits, and it looks amazing. I wonder how many real road trips you've inspired. It would be nice to do a survey of.
Right. And so I feel like you've done, with your travels and your writing, you bring people along, and it's a very, it's this area of the French woman's metabolism. Let's talk about that in your book.
Well, it's funny because, and I really, it is exactly what you're saying. I truly did write it because I see people struggling and, eating nothing but grapefruits or oranges, or only meat, or only this or only that, and eating horrible food, trying to lose weight. And you actually, so the first time I went to Paris, we ate everything, we drank everything, we walked a ton, and I figured I'd gain weight. I came home, I had lost weight. So I'm like, great, I can eat this way. And I ate that way home, and it didn't work. Then go back to Paris, same thing happened. So the third trip back to Paris, I'm like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. And I did. I figured out, and I
You cracked the code.
kind of stalked people, honestly. And it took another 2 or 3 trips to Paris because, I'm a giver.
That's right. Honey, I think I need another trip. I'm almost there. I've got like 3 more pages, but.
That's right. But I really did figure out what is the difference and why it is that French people can just eat food, delicious food, eat butter, eat bread, drink wine, and not gain weight. And it's simple. And since I've written the book, I've coached a number of people, and they've all had success with it. So it's not a fluke. There is a formula. I cleverly, through suffering through several trips to Paris, figured it out. And it's easy, and you can eat whatever you want correctly.
And so where can people get your book, by the way?
It is available on Amazon. It's called Creating the French Metabolism, Eat, Drink, and Be Beautiful.
Creating the French Metabolism, Eat, Drink,
Yeah.
and Be Beautiful.
That's right. Kelley Pomerantz is the author.
Yep.
Short Pomerantz, yeah.
And so now your blog, I love getting your blog. I love reading it. You had this one article that can women over 40 or can women over 50 wear red lipstick?
Yes.
And I thought that would, because that who would have thought, after a certain age we'd be talking about, like, is it okay to wear certain lipsticks and stuff? I mean, I know that my thing was, I think after like 35 or 40, I felt like I shouldn't wear like crop tops anymore, but in this area of lipstick, what is your survey answer on that?
Well, yes, women can wear red lipstick at any age if it looks good on them. Maybe as a young woman it doesn't look good, but if it looks good on you, the important thing with red lipstick is to get to match the undertone of your skin,
Yes.
to red for your skin tone, because there is a red for everyone.
I think that's an important thing. There's a red for everyone, and
Yeah.
I mean, even this shirt has got so many different shades of like purpley, you know, like it's true. There's a, why, it's so funny. Look at, like, I'm like all in red today.
Oh, I love it.
I guess I had your red lipstick in mind.
Yeah, yeah, but I did, I think I did another article after that about what women over, what did I put, 50, 60? I'm over all of them, so it doesn't matter, but
Which is unbelievable. Unbelievable that even that you're over 59, unbelievable that you're over 40. Okay. Unbelievable.
God, well, it's good skin, good skin care.
Yes, and there's no filters going on here, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
Um,
No, but yeah, there's so many things that, you know, there used to be so many rules, I think, about over 50 or over 60, what you can and can't do. And you just have to find, you know, the right way to do it. Like long hair, women didn't wear long hair over 60, or, you know, or a short skirt. You can totally do if you know, in a certain way, if you do it with, you know, a matching tights and with flat shoes, because short skirts and high heels at any age kind of means one thing. but, but yeah, there's a version of anything that can be done. It just has to be age appropriate. Are you putting my favorite eye cream on right now, eye gel?
I've been testing, I'm testing, these are some of my tester samples of pot rouge for lip and cheek.
Oh, nice. I can't wait to see coming out with next.
Yeah, I'm making it just a little less oily, but you know, but I want it to be for lip and cheek.
That's beautiful. I love the thing. That's Bobbi Brown's hero for where makeup is concerned, and she's huge on multitasking.
Yeah, I love that. And so I'm just going, of course, like very natural ingredients, but you know, working with a chemist closer out there by you guys.
Yeah.
And anyway, I had all these samples in front of me, and I just you were talking red, so, but yes, I bought a whole bunch of other companies and testing out colors. You know, it's interesting about what you were saying with like a short skirt with tights, like tights that cover the leg, you know, like exactly. And there's just sort of that rule of just highlight one body part.
You only show, it's very French to only show one skin at a time. So if you're going to go with bare arms, you wouldn't have other areas of bare skin, or, you know, like you mentioned, the crop top or the midriff. And if you've got the abs for it, I think you can still get away with that at a later age, if you've got the abs for it, and if you're not, you know, if you're kind of covered up in other places. So no,
that's the thing. I mean, actually, this shirt's a little bit short. This shirt's a little bit short, but if a little peeks through, it's not the end of the world, because sleeves are long, pants are long, a little peek. But that's the only thing you're getting. You know, it's not like a short skirt or a bunch of cleavage, right? Because it's not showing cleavage.
Absolutely.
You know, I have just found that is such a good, classy rule, that if you're going to show cleavage, then just like, we don't have to see all the leg either, you know? Yeah. I mean, again, like you said, after a certain age, I don't know. I guess if you're single and you're 40 and you're hot, do whatever you want, you know? You know?
Well, you know, we start to get into that area of age appropriateness, where it's like you can look like you're trying to look young. And that looking young is one thing, trying to look young is kind of another thing. So
and it's so interesting that you say that, because it's you would think that there's just that hard, fast rule of, you know, like I have a little more of a bohemian kind of hippie chick vibe, you know, and I feel it's very me. But I don't want it to ever look like, you know, oh, I'm like an old broad trying to hold on to the 70s, you know? And yeah, and just like, you know, if I try and get all Chanel'd out, I do feel a little weird, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe not everybody notices it, but I feel it, so I may not pull it off as much. Like, there's definitely your own personal aesthetic that if you really like it, you're gonna glow in it more. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And you never want to feel conspicuous. I mean, you want to strut and you want to feel terrific and fabulous, but you don't want to feel conspicuous. You
Interesting
know,
word.
yeah, yeah. Coco Chanel was famous for saying, you know, look in the mirror before you walk out of the house and take one thing off. But she said it in French, so it was a lot prettier. But
So look in the mirror and take some. So in other words, like you've probably overdone it a bit, too many
yeah,
bangles, or maybe you know.
exactly. You just get yourself all zhuzhed up and then just check yourself out. Okay, this is where I went over the top, and you're on your way. But you never want to feel like conspicuous. It's one thing to stand out because you're just look terrific, and that's confidence. I guess
Yeah.
versus conspicuous.
Right. Now that leads me to, you have this great blog article that you wrote about, it was like, I think 9 points, you know, anywhere 5 to 9 points on the confidence of a
Yeah.
French woman.
Yes.
And one of the first things you talked about was, you know, and it's interesting because it's, some of it is counterintuitive to my kind of, here I am sort of sensibilities, you know, and yet there is like such aesthetic truths to that. It was when someone, like, if you gave an example, if someone comes to your house, you know, and let's say the laundry room or the guest bathroom is a total wreck, you may not take them in there, you
Don't
know.
show that. Why would you show that?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's your option to show what you want to show, and the same thing. You know, physically, you show what you. I mean, we're all kind of actors playing a game, so why wouldn't you want to show the best side and the best rooms? And you know, it's silly to show your dirty laundry.
Right. No, and it, you know, it's sort of taking the high road, taking the aesthetic, artistic road
Yeah,
of yourself, you know.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, ultimately, we are what we say we are, right?
Yes. Yes. Now, how did you see that play out when you were traveling in Paris?
Well, I'll tell you, my biggest compliment when I go to Paris is for someone to speak French to me, assuming that I'm French. Um, because especially in Paris, you know, French women are very stylish, but Paris takes it up a notch. So, you know, I think the first time I went to Paris, it happened a time or two. Now, you know, pretty much everywhere I go, people, you know, are bonjour, bienvenue, and very welcoming, and they'll ask how they can help me, and I barely understand them because my French is very bad. But it's just such a compliment to me that I can go to Paris and blend in, and in fact, when I went for my book signing, Jeff wasn't able to go with me, so it was actually my first trip to Paris alone. And
Okay, so you know what I'm just thinking here, and you know, this is crazy how my mind works.
mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, I want people to know that, look at this, a woman wrote a book. Michael, could you shut that? Yeah. A woman wrote a book about the French metabolism. She writes blogs about French women's confidence, and she barely speaks French. And that to me is the American dream, that you can do anything, right? Like I immediately just thought, wow, like there are many things in my life that I wanted to do, but I was like, well, you know, well, actually, like I directed a film, and I remember thinking, well, I can't direct a film because, I mean, yeah, I studied a little bit of directing, but it was theater directing. I didn't go to film school, you know, and this was whatever, 15 years ago. There weren't, I wasn't a dude, there were mostly dude directors. I didn't go to film school and all these things, and I didn't think that I could. I'd never directed something, so how can I direct a film, But I wound up just sort of saying to someone who wanted me to be in a film, sure, I'll direct it. And then I was like, wow, I believe I said that. And they went for it. But but it's like I wish I would have applied those balls to so many other things in life where you think, well, who am I to write a book on blah.
No.
But it's like you knew what you knew, and you're observing something, and you're pulling what's great about it to be able to help other people.
Well, I figure you either can wait to get all your ducks in a row, or you can just learn to live with a few crooked ducks. So
amen. Amen to crooked ducks.
Yeah.
I just, that is just very, I always like to underscore things that make people be able to do more with starting now, like anything that pushes someone past waiting until they have,
right.
And allows you to just start something is to me a real valuable piece of information.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. So now you're in Paris, they're speaking French to you. But there's this confidence, right? Is it that you exuded this sort of confidence that made them assume like, oh,
Yeah. And also, I mean, it's so funny to me that Americans think of French as rude because they're known for having the best manners. Like through Europe, the French are known for their manners. And the problem is, so learning a lot of kind of the protocols and what's expected when you walk into a shop. And here we'll walk up to the Starbucks and say, give me a double frappa, whatever. You would never do that. In Paris, you would walk in, bonjour, s'il vous plaît. You would, you always the niceties first.
Yeah.
And then you request your order, and then you say thank you. And so, yeah, it's learning a lot of the acceptable behaviors.
Yes, yes.
But I think that I'm on a bit of a mission to bring that back here too, because it's one of the things that I cover in the book that I'm releasing in the next couple of months, The Art of Living. I have a section that's devoted to manners, because we were a culture of manners for a very long time, and then it's kind of fallen out of practice and it's not being taught anymore. And so, at this point, a lot of people don't even know what. So it's not entirely their fault.
Say that again. A lot of people don't even know what?
Don't know what to teach.
Oh,
if they were
yeah.
Manners that, so much has fallen out of practice.
Right. Things are moved so fast and with phones and do you pick it up in the middle of a conversation? Do you keep it? Do you?
Yeah. But I did a lot of research on this, and back pre-revolution, there were very different caste systems as far as, like an upper class and then the lower class on the street that the common people had no sense of manners, and they ate with their hands, and they passed a communal soup bowl, which was pretty gross. And then
I'm like, right on, sister. I'm so the opposite of a germ freak. I'm so the opposite of it. Oh, yeah. I must have been in an earlier lifetime one of those, Neanderthals.
You do the 30-second rule instead of the 3-second rule.
Oh, hell yeah.
The 3-minute rule. Yeah. I do. But yeah, there were, after the revolution then, the common people started to kind of mimic the elite. And so that then manners, your behavior and not your birthright, actually stood for who was educated or who was sophisticated. So it was no longer just a matter of birth. So that whole thing happened in a civilization and brought, manners into existence for the common people. And then they fell out in the 1950s and 60s. I explain all that. And
Wow.
but we not. Why not?
Wow. And are there certain statistics of how a society has sort of, I don't know, like the success or the crime rate, or like how that might be affected?
Yeah, very much so. And it's interesting that you asked that, because yes, post-revolution in France, when the common people started imitating the elite, then crime went down sharply.
Wow.
And in the 50s and 60s, when in America, we moved into sort of this permissive parenting where we were very nurturing, which is fabulous, but we gave very little boundaries and rules, which is not so fabulous.
Yeah.
That point was when a lot of statistics in not only crime but education, started to fall, and crime started to rise. And
Isn't that
yeah,
interesting?
so, yeah,
Like the simplicity and what like there's so much more that goes behind a man walking on the street side with a woman, or opening the door, or yeah, waiting to sit down, and
whole etiquette of and doors and eating, of course, and being introduced. Yeah.
Introductions. Tell me about that part. What is the manners of introduction? Oh, I'm so not good at that.
Well, it's a very different society now, so the rules aren't quite as rigid, but just the whole thing of it used to be that a woman would not rise when they met somebody and a man would. Nowadays, women, they want to have equal footing in the workplace, rightly so. They want to be taken seriously, rightly so. And so it's much more of a proper etiquette to stand, especially if you meet anybody important. Yeah. You always introduce first the person with the, if someone has importance, you introduce them first.
Okay. Like the boss of a company, or the head of something.
Yeah. So Denise, I would like you to meet God, that higher status.
Yes.
God, this is Denise.
Right. And then what about like from like age, like someone older to someone younger?
Yeah, and that's actually, you would definitely introduce first the mature, whoever you're giving the seniority to, you introduce first. So older to younger, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And that book, is called what?
That book is called The Art of Living.
It's a fantastic name.
Yeah. This is the one thing I do well.
What are two other chapters called in it? What are two other chapters that you're addressing?
Well, the art of manners. I have the art of relationships, the art of travel, the art of style. Yeah. So it's everything I could think of. And again, it's, when I wrote the first book, I really wanted to help women who I saw struggling with these weird ways of eating and not having success. And I just wanted to bring that sort of message to women. And it's the same thing, because I came from a very interesting background. And so I wanted to just show that you can start anywhere in life and you can live beautifully. And, I grew up where being poor was not a condition, it was an identity. It was just a very interesting childhood.
Wow, now you've got me like, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Cranfell's Gap, Texas, which is a town of 500 people. I grew up with alcoholic grandparents, and then left at 16. And have kind of crawled my way up from there. But it was definitely the very shallow end of the gene pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your parents weren't alcoholics, but the grandparents were the ones that kind of were around more?
They were around at all. My parents disappeared after I was born.
Okay.
They just took one look at this scrawny baby. That was enough for them. Yeah. 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 So, but you know, it's like you said earlier, you can do anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, sometimes you just have to get yourself out of the ruts of the road and just, you know, kind of take your own viewpoint. So, so that's what I'm hoping that this book encourages people to do and give them a bit more confidence to just kind of make the most of things.
Oh my gosh, it so
Yeah.
sounds like I wish I could have been like an intern in your life. I'm like, Michael, I have to go with Kelley because she's doing chapter 3, The Art of Travel. It's very serious. We have to go to Paris, and then we're going to make a pit stop at India.
Oh, I would love to do that. We should go do the whole Eat, Pray, Love thing.
I know. I
Good
wasn't a fan of that. I wanted to like the movie, but I didn't. Maybe because I feel like I've backpacked through Europe so much.
We don't
And
have to do the movie.
I
We
know.
can just do the eating and
Do
the
us.
praying. And yeah.
Yes,
We don't.
yes. No, and I'm a yeah, I'm a big backpacker at heart. You know, I probably rough it a bit more than you. So it would be good to travel with you because you'll kind of elevate, you know, it'll have a little more Gucci swing to it than my mattress on the floor in a tent out in the desert, you know.
Oh, that's right. We'll go glamping.
We'll go glamping. Now, I wanted to just touch on this delicious mane of hair of yours. It's just,
Oh,
you know, I mean, of course, like, I don't know any woman who, you know, whatever, after 45, when we start to go, oh, I got to do this, I got to, blah, 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 you know, like, when did you go, oh, okay, I'm going to stop, like, dyeing my hair?
well, so it was, I think, about 2.5 years ago now, although last year was about 6 years. So I think it was 2.5 years ago, that my scalp was just becoming very irritated with coloring my roots, and I had to do it at that point like every couple of weeks. And so I tried all the organic things and the sensitive skin things, and there was no other alternative. And I had been wanting to do this for probably 10 or 15 years because I actually went gray like in my 30s.
Uh-huh.
But the people whose opinion mattered to me were telling me, no, it's going to age you. You know, you're not going to like it.
I know. Wait, by the way, Tracy Murray wanted to know, let's see, I would love to know where to get it, and does it come in audio? Oh, okay. Well, your book, right now, your second book is not done yet, but her first book.
The first book is available on Amazon, Creating the French Metabolism.
Creating the French Metabolism. Eat,
Yeah.
Drink, Be Beautiful.
Be Beautiful.
Yes. Yes, and you can just get it on Amazon. Okay, so right, so you've got friends going, oh my God, no, you look too young. Why are you doing it? You look too young. You shouldn't.
Exactly. And I thought it would look pretty good, but so yeah, at a certain point, I just kind of had to do it. But I spent a lot of time on Pinterest and looking for hairstyles, because if I was going to do this, I wanted to do it kind of rock star. You know, I wasn't going to be like, oh, poor thing, she can't do her hair anymore. So, so yeah, I did, you know, I spent a lot of time figuring out kind of what I wanted to do with it. And then my daughter is a hairstylist. So she just, you know, once I got about that much roots, she just bleached the crap out of it. And
so that's what you did. So you let it grow out some roots, right? And then
about 2 inches, just to make sure I was going to be happy with it, that it wasn't going to be some weird blotchy brassy color. So yeah.
And then she bleached the rest, right?
Yeah.
And then then you put like a gray purplish type of toner on that?
I did when it was bleached. Now it's pretty salty, but yeah, but I've been super happy with it, and it's nice to not have to watch for the skunk line anymore.
I know. Well, it just, you glow. It's just this radiant glow, but I'm sure it was sort of like what what will it look like, you know,
Yeah.
because
Totally.
like I know most of mine is here, but there's not as much here, and you know, it would be kind of like a grab bag of like, what would it look like? You know,
Yeah.
every woman kind of has different areas.
Yeah. 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 But I didn't have much of an option. I was down to henna as an option, and that takes about 3 hours, and I don't have 3 hours every other week.
No, 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 no. You're too busy living life artfully.
That's right. Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Let me see. There was one more thing in your blog. Oh, well, there was another couple things on your chapter, on your of confidence. Um, I can go in there, but I wanted you to just give a couple more of, because you had like 9 of them. And I remember there was the first one was, you know, you don't have to lead with any sort of flaw, you know, which is
Right.
actually something like when, you know, for actors, when you do auditions, one of the first things they say is you go on the audition and you slate your name, and then they want to
Mm-hmm.
see your hands. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, they just want to see that you've got fingers. You know, I mean, and even if you're missing, you know, a finger, it's okay. They just need to know, do they need a hand model for the close-up shot, you know?
Right.
But the casting directors would always say, you know, show your hands and don't comment on them. Don't go, oh, I need a manicure. They're really like,
Right.
just show your hands, you know?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. And for that matter, as far as like for an audition or an interview or anything where you're presenting yourself, you know, a lot of times people will say, well, you know, tell us a little something about yourself. All they really want to know is that you can talk and that you're animated and that
yeah,
you can hold up your end of a conversation. It doesn't really matter if it's something about you. You know, if you can be ready and comfortable with some concept of a story that you're going to tell.
yeah.
So, you know, well, tell us a little something about yourself. Oh, well, I was just scuba diving a couple of weeks ago. An amazing thing happened.
Right. And then the
And
person who doesn't have a scuba diving story is going to think they're not going to be interesting enough. And that's not what they care about.
that's right. That's right.
They're like,
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
went to Publix. That's all I did. And I like took care of my baby and I went to Publix. But you know what? Like, that's epic. And can you carry a conversation? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Just commit. You got to commit. You got to say it confidently and just I think because you did better homework than me. I haven't looked at that blog for a while, but I think I also talk about like when you walk into a room, just take it in.
Yeah.
Just kind of own the space and own the room, and you don't have to say anything. You don't have to be loud. You just have to be like there.
Just be there. At the end of the day, that's what it is. We're just
That's
being
right.
there. We're just being here, man.
That's right.
Being fabulous. You're fabulous, Kelley.
You're fabulous, Denise. I love you.
I love you. Well, we can
Mhm.
wrap this up with your whatever you have been such a wonderful fan, customer, supporter of my skincare business, and it just sort of warmed my heart. I think you told me a friend stayed with you and she accidentally left her jar of cream, and
Mhm.
you tried it and you were like, okay, hello.
Oh, I was about it the first day. I'm a super fan. Yeah, I honestly, when I opened the jar and I smelled it, and I thought maybe I was supposed to eat it because it's, I thought, well, maybe it's a supplement because it smelled so good. And I put it on, and I mean, even now I'm touching my face, and I can't believe the difference in texture, and it was overnight. And then I got the serum. That serum is amazing. And then, but the thing that I'm really like geeking out on right now are the masks.
Oh.
Uh, both of the masks, yeah.
Oh.
Uh, and I use the pumpkin on the weekend, and I use the blueberry in the middle of the week. But
Isn't that that pumpkin is no joke. Like it might be a little funky and messy, you know, when you look at yourself, but when you leave that on and you get a little tingle from it.
I do.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, it gets the heat.
But I just feel supercharged. My
Yeah.
skin is like supercharged. Yeah. And midweek is like you're getting towards the like chill the F out towards the weekend, you know. So it's just like this yogurt smoothie.
Oh yeah.
Kindness and love. So yeah, but I'm just telling and it's the gift I give, you know, to everybody when there's a, you know, birthday or whatever. So
thank you. Yes, we just how did this get here? How did this get here? We just released. I've been working to get a scrub. I mean, I love exfoliation, and you know, our enzyme cleanser is what's called a like a chemical exfoliator, meaning it loosens dead skin cells by liquid form, either, you know, alpha hydroxy acids or glycolic acid, or in this case the papaya enzyme. And so, you know, loving on that. And then even the masks have those enzymes as well. But I always wanted to have a physical exfoliant. And, you know, you ever like have like, remember the apricot peach scrub?
Oh, yes.
Right. Like that was like big back then. Sometimes it could be a little bit too much, maybe as we got older and our skin got a little more delicate. And then other scrubs, sometimes it was too creamy with not enough grit, or the grit was too big and the grit was too spaced far apart, and I'm trying to move and get that piece of wall right. And all I wanted was a fine, even grit for every scrub. And so for a year, I like worked on getting a base of ingredients that was nice and clean. And and I decided to go with bamboo polish because it's super fine and natural. And so it's sort of like an extension of your like. Yeah.
You get almost like that microdermabrasion effect.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's great. I can't wait to try that. Legal. It's a coming soon thing.
Wait, say that again.
I didn't know if it was okay to mention that, because I know that's something that you're about to release. I thought it might be.
It got released yesterday. So
fabulous.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh, I can't.
So yes.
I'll be my next. Awesome.
It's been a super fun journey. We just so love having you as one of our faces in our face team, and just everything you're doing out there, you know, just living life, being beautiful, being so in love. So, you know, just you and your man are such a great team. By the way, her husband, Jeff Pomeranz, is a fantastic actor and humanitarian, and just the greatest voice in the world. So okay, so I guess I just want to make sure that, and they can follow your blog. Tell them what the name of your blog is.
Yeah, KelleyPom.com is my website.
Got a nice little ring to it.
That's right. Yeah.
And, what do we got here? Oh my gosh, yes, Tracy's so right. Tina is here. Tina has got an incredible mane of gorgeous gray hair. And she's just been in love with our products. I love watching Tina. Oh, Tara Lambert is on. Tara, I just used the scrub for the first time. It's me. Oh, yay. And Tara is like, Tara's kind of a skincare snob. She's a nutritionist. And yes, you know, and everything has got to be like super clean. And she just has perfection skin. So that makes me feel good.
Wow.
You know, it's not, you know, we've got a good hub of very, very health-minded, fashion-minded, love-minded women around us, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And your product is just amazing. And thank you so much for bringing us all the goodies. Thanks.
Bring the goods.
That's right.
Okay, well, you have yourself a glorious weekend. This was just a lovely, lovely honor and a way to head into the weekend with your beautiful sparkle and your tips, tricks, and treasures of what you bring to life.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. This has been so much fun.
Absolutely. Okay. Loves to Jeff, and I'll see you on the gram.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Super fun she is. Oh, Erica has now hopped on board. Hello, Erica. Oh my gosh, Tara, I love hearing that. It's like everything, you're so impressed. Yay, I crushed it. Right? It's just, and it's 100% natural. It doesn't have any like weird diglycerides, you know, sodium lauryl sulfate, blah, 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 blah. It is pure botanicals, pure ingredients, antioxidants, and tons of that polish, because I just kept telling them, I'm like, put more, and they'd put it and I feel it. I'm like, nope, more. She kept going back into the back. I'm like, I need it to feel it. It needs to do the work for you. I just want to lightly scrub, but I want all those little things to just help dissolve the little dry areas we get. So, but we wound up having to put it in a dropper because the pump it was supposed to come in, the little polish gets clogged in the pump. There's always something. So it's got this little dropper, and you can use it that way. Or heck, unscrew it and dump it in your hand. Whatever you want, just get it from your hand to your face. Oh gosh, I love it. Tina, thank you. I know these colors. I match my ceiling and my little slacks here, which also match my ceiling. I was in a red mood. Speaking to a woman who travels to Paris, I guess I was feeling red. All right, Tara, you're just darling. Joe is here. I wonder if Robert C. Stern is still listening. Fully transitioned to see what, yeah, you do. You're the pro at that. Tracy, it's been so good having you. All right, Michael Duff, thank you for just being in love with me.
You're welcome.
Okay, guys, I want you to have a spectacular weekend. Feel free to check out In Your Face Skincare, of course. Why not? And be on the lookout for our lip to cheek tint. Sirens are going. All right, guys. Bye.